If you can't figure out your purpose,
Figure out your passion. For your passion leads you
directly into your purpose. I'm Samhitha, and I'm an example of this quote. And this is my story. I started baking when I was about 13 years old. My mom never allowed me into coming into kitchen, partly because she was scared that I would hurt myself, and partly, I thought, because she was scared that I will mess up her kitchen, like all the mothers. But my dad pushed me into learning new things. He's a firm believer of the quote, "Practice makes a man perfect." So he pushed me into learning new things, going and trying new things. That's how I started making my chocolates. After a few months, we shifted to a new town because of my dad's transfer. It was a pretty small town, and I'm not exactly comfortable in it. I tried to make some friends, but we didn't have like minds, and I felt like an outsider. That's when I started staying at home more, not going to school. So I started baking a lot and trying and testing new recipes and desserts. Since I didn't have anyone to talk to, my baking became my best friend, and books too. After my 10th grade, we shifted back to Hyderabad. I always wanted to become a doctor. There are two reasons I've deviated from my path. One is because I've seen my brother take BPC and go into medicine, and I saw him study for about 6 to 8 hours every day, and that's not my cup of tea. Studying more than half an hour is a lot for me. So I thought, I can't do it. And the second reason is after I came back to Hyderabad, I spent about half of my summer vacation with my aunt, who is an inspiration for me. And she's one of the directors in Amazon. So I talked to her a lot. And she used to ask me these math questions, these logical questions. And I used to answer her pretty easily. And she said I was really good at math. Trust me, this is not easy for my 11th and 12th classmates to believe, but trust me, I was good at math back then. So I took her advice of going into MPC and going into IIT. So I came back to Hyderabad and I joined Oakridge, and that changed my life. I took math, physics, and chemistry as my major subjects. I was given 3 choices in choosing my elective: PE, physical education, psychology, and entrepreneurship. So I chose entrepreneurship. And you know why I chose entrepreneurship? I had no idea what the meaning was. The name sounded pretty fancy to me, like a big, fancy name. So it really intrigued me. So I chose it. I thought, my old friends would ask me what I'm studying right now, and I'd go like, yeah, I'm doing entrepreneurship. So it was pretty nice for me to tell other people that I was doing something which they didn't even know the meaning of. And neither did I, but they didn't know that. So after a few introductory classes, I realized that this subject, which I didn't know anything about, was really interesting, and I was passionate about it. My teacher, my 11th grade teacher, explained the whole concept and the course in such a way that I felt my elective was more important to me than my major subjects, personally. I felt I got lesser grades in my major subjects than in my elective. But my teachers didn't bother to, push me hard to study my major subjects more. They were rather happy for me for finding a subject which I was really interested in, and were pushing me forward and supporting me in all of their ways. In my 11th grade, before my finals, one day I went to my parents just because I was sick of studying for half an hour again. I went to my parents that day and I asked them for a hike in my pocket money. It was obviously no, because like all the parents, who would increase the pocket money just before final exams? Because that's not what you're supposed to do. But I went and asked them. So they said no. I went on joking around saying that I would make my own money off of selling my baked goods, the cupcakes and all. And my dad actually took it seriously. Me and my dad spent about 3 to 4 hours that day sitting and discussing and naming our imaginary company. The next day, my dad actually came to me and showed me that he registered the imaginary company as a real one, Chocolate Box. That was the day Chocolate Box was born. I went back to my school and told my classmates and my teachers about it. They were really happy for me. My teachers sat with me, my entrepreneurship teachers. They were giving me inputs and feedbacks about what can I do for marketing. I went to my principal that day and told her about my company. And we decided to launch it on May 6th of 2016 on the campus, in the campus. But it did not happen because of some reasons. But the next year, the following year, in my 12th grade, my school gave me a chance to put up not one, but 2 stalls on the Founders Day. One in the Ethnic Food Center and the other one in the Business Center. I got a tremendous feedback from all the attendees, all the parents and the teachers. And mostly, I got a feedback from our founder, Mr. Shomidas, and that's when I knew that this is not it. I just can't sit at home, bake chocolates and sell it online. I had to grow. So, as I told before, in Karnool, books and baking became my best friend. Coming to books, I always liked going out and sitting in a cafe and imagine myself doing that. Having a cup of coffee and reading a nice book. I tried it 4 times actually, going to a cafe and doing that. But it wasn't a success. There was a lot of noise. People came in to order. I don't want any order, but they still came. So I thought, why can't I combine my both passions, reading the books and my baking? So I came up with an idea of a book cafe, which I later went to my school and talked about it with my teachers. My 12th grade entrepreneurship teacher was so excited and happy that I got an idea like this, that she sat with me and we discussed about it, and she made me do a project, a whole business plan about my company, because that was what we were studying in that grade. So I made a 40-page business plan for my book cafe, and I got 30 on 30 for it. I was happy, even though I got fairly less grades in the other subjects. They didn't push me. And after my 12th came the bigger challenge. I had to choose which path I had to go to. I have 3 options. One is through my passion. I could go into culinary arts or the baking and all. And the second is through my love for my subject. I could choose business management. And the other one is I can just continue with my previous subjects of 11th and 12th and go into engineering. I put MPC aside, engineering aside, because that's not my cup of tea. I cannot do it. I'm just not good at math, or I just hate it. So I was a bit fickle-minded in between these 2 between these 2 courses. So I went to my school counselor and sat with her for a whole day discussing about this. She didn't judge me for how fickle-minded I was between choosing courses. She sat with me, showed me all the colleges and the courses I could take. And then we decided that I thought about it for a bit, and I remembered what once my dad said. Practical and theory go hand in hand. I had a bit of practical experience through Chocolate Box. But theory, mere knowledge of having entrepreneurship as one subject is not good enough. So I thought I have to study more and learn more in the way I'm going through. So I decided to take Bachelor of Business Administration in Bennett University, which I'm doing right now. That's my story until now. And the future? There's always gonna be another mountain. I'm always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle. Sometimes I'm gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there. matters is what's beyond it. I don't know what's beyond the mountain. What I care about is my journey. What I truly care about is the climb. Thank you.